Hi everyone, Dr. Saiti here, Team MDS Conquer. So next topic which is quite important in your radiology is the radiation biology. So actually the radiation biology deals with the effect of the ionizing radiation over the living organisms or the living system. So it's nothing but the study of the effects of the ionizing radiation on the living systems. Okay, so as you can see here, so just a little idea. So initial interaction that occurs within the ionizing radiation and the matter, so which occurs between the ionizing radiation and matter, occurs at the level of 10 to the power of minus 13 seconds. Okay, and the modification of within the molecules that can occur between the seconds to hours, and alterations in cells and tissues can persist for hours, decades, and possibly even generations, and finally it can cause injury or death, and if it is modified then it can cause cancer. So what is more important is this, that is the initial interaction which occurs between that first 10 to the power of minus 13 seconds. Okay, so that is quite important. So these are the various sources of radiation. So just give a glance to various sources of radiation. Okay, so if you have a little idea of what are the various sources, the natural and the man-made sources, and the contribution of these sources of radiation, that's enough. So just give a glance to this that I've posted here. Okay, so the main heart of this chapter is the deterministic and the stochastic effects of the radiation over the living systems. Okay, so there are two types of effects which are broadly classified or divided as the deterministic effect and stochastic effect. So what are the main differences is, so the deterministic effect, it is caused by killing of many cells, whereas stochastic effect is caused by sublethal damage to the DNA. Okay, first is the cause, that is killing of many cells by the deterministic effect, whereas sublethal damage to the DNA occurs in the stochastic effect. Next, the dose. So deterministic, the name itself says determined dose. You have to give a determined dose to cause the effect. So determined dose will cause the effect. So it is dose dependent, right? So yes, the sufficient killing is occurs with the dose. So the dose, threshold dose, is present with deterministic effect, whereas stochastic effect, there is no threshold dose. Even a single photon can cause the effect. So even a single photon can cause the change in the DNA and can lead to heritable changes or can lead to dreadful changes like the occurrence of cancer. Okay, so deterministic effect, the name says a determined dose will cause the effect, whereas stochastic effect, a single photon can cause the effect. Okay, now next, the severity. As I said, the deterministic effect, that it is directly proportional to the dose. So the more the dose, the more the severity. Whereas stochastic effect, it is independent of the dose. Right? Next, the probability of having the effect. So here, if it is above the threshold, the individuals can show the effect. Here, the greater the dose, the greater the chance of having the effect. So probability is more for the stochastic effect, whereas here it occurs if it is above that particular threshold dose. So probability, you have to have an idea, right? So examples, so radiotherapy, if the patient is under a long term radiotherapy, then if the dose will be above the threshold, right? So in those patients, the patients will have deterministic effects like the mucositis, the radiation caries, osteoradionecrosis, trismus of the muscles, etc. Whereas stochastic effect examples include the radiation induced cancers and also heritable effects. Okay, so these are the important differences between the deterministic and the stochastic effect. So the main important thing you have to have a good idea is a determined dose or a threshold dose will cause the effect in deterministic effect, whereas in stochastic effect it is dose independent. Even a single photon can cause its effect. Okay, and examples you need to have an idea. So we'll be discussing that further. So let's have an idea of the direct and the indirect effect. So direct effect is directly the radiation will affect the atom. Whereas in indirect effect, what happens is the X-ray photon or the radiation will actually first will hit or will attack the water molecules, and when that occurs, after it attacks the water molecules, it releases the hydroxyl ions. Okay, so those ions will go and affect or will act on the atoms. Okay, so this is a major difference, so we'll be discussing that. Okay, so in direct effect, directly it attacks the matter or directly it attacks the atom, whereas in indirect effect it actually attacks the water molecules, because we know the matter, especially the human beings or the living organisms, consists of a lot of water molecules, right? So it first hit the water molecules, and that water molecules will releases the hydroxyl ions or free radicals. These free radicals will go and hit the particular atoms. Okay, so both direct and indirect effect will take that will be completed within 10 to the power of minus 5 seconds. Okay, we'll be having that impression that direct effect will be even more faster because it directly attacks the atom. No, both shares the same time, both will be completed within the same time. Okay, that is 10 to the power of minus 5 seconds. Though in indirect effect, first the water molecules are attacked and later the radicals are produced, and those radicals or those free radicals will attack the atom, but even then that is completed within 10 to the power of minus 5 seconds. Okay, so both direct and indirect effects are being completed between or within 10 to the power of minus 5 seconds. Okay, so this is regarding the direct and indirect effect. So now the different changes that occurs as a consequence of radiation within the DNA are these different changes. So just have an idea that it can cause the breakage of the double stranded break, and it can also cause the loss of base and base change, and it can cause a cross linkage, it can even break the single strand, it can cause a protein cross linkage, so and hydrogen bond breakage. So these are the different damage that are being caused by the radiation to the DNA. So just remember this picture, that's enough. So now let's discuss the deterministic effects. So deterministic effects, as I said, it is mainly the effect is caused by the dose, it is dose dependent. Okay, so three main mechanisms are being related to this, that is DNA damage, the bystander effect and the apoptosis. So first let's discuss the bystander effect. So what is bystander effect? So what happens is, first the radiation will go and damage some molecules or some atoms. These damaged atoms will go and damage the neighboring atoms. Okay, so that is nothing but the bystander effect. Okay, so this is related to the important point related to the bystander effect. So just see this picture. So the damaged atoms which are being occurred as a consequence of radiation, those damaged atoms will go and again attack the neighboring atoms. Okay, that is nothing but the bystander effect. Okay, so if there is a repair, then the cell will survive. If there is a misrepair, it occurs or it ends up with carcinogenesis, and if there is no repair, the cell will die. Okay, so this is again an important concept related to the effects on cell replication. So next, on the cytoplasm, it can increase the permeability of the cytoplasm to sodium and potassium ions. It can also cause swelling and disorganization of the mitochondria, and it can also result in necrosis. So these are the effects of the radiation on the cytoplasm. Next, let's discuss the various cells relative radiosensitivity compared to different cells which are high, which are intermediate and which are low. So those cells which divide rapidly, which have high mitotic figures, which divide rapidly, those will have high radiosensitivities. They are more sensitive to radiation, they are more attacked by radiation. So those include the spermatogenic cells and the reproductive cells, and also the basal cells of the oral mucous membrane. Okay, and the low one are the highly differentiated cells or least dividing cells. Okay, those are least sensitive to radiation, or they are least radiosensitive. Those include the neurons, the muscle cells and the erythrocytes. Okay, so just remember the high and the low radiosensitive cells, the others will fall into the intermediate. Okay, so the intermediate cells are those which divide occasionally. Okay, and the examples include the vascular endothelial cells, the fibroblast, the acina, and the ductals, the salivary glands, and the parenchymal cells, and all that. Okay, so just remember the parenchymal cells of the kidney, liver, and the acina and the ductal cells of the salivary glands. Okay, all these come under the intermediate. So highly dividing cells like the sperms and the basal cells of the oral mucosa are more sensitive to radiation, whereas the neurons and the muscles, which are least dividing and highly differentiated cells, are less sensitive to radiation, and the other cells like the salivary gland, ductal, and the acina cells, and also the vascular endothelial and the fibroblast, are they divide occasionally, so they fall into intermediate category. So just remember this relative radiosensitivity of the various cells. Okay, so again you can have an idea of the relative radio sensitivity of various tissues and organs. So just remember these. So those which are, again as I said, which are highly dividing and has high mitotic figures, they are highly radiosensitive. Those include the bone marrow, testis, intestine, the mucous membranes. Okay, and the optic lens, the muscles, and the nerves come into low, whereas others will fall in intermediate. Okay, so just give a glance to that I have posted. Right, so questions will be asked in and around this area, which are high sensitive, which are low sensitive. Okay, so you need to have a good idea of this. Okay, next, coming to the modifying factors. So the modifying factors include the dose rate, the oxygen, and the linear energy transfer. So the first one is the dose. So the severity of the deterministic effects, as I said, they depend upon the amount of radiation that is being received. Okay, so it is directly proportional to the dose. So the more the dose, the more the severity. Right. Next, dose rate. The term dose rate indicates the rate of exposure. Okay, so even that is very important. So as you can see here, the exposure of the biological systems to higher dose rate causes more damage than exposure to the same total dose which is given at a lower dose rate. So it is again directly proportional. So the more the dose rate, more the damage. Right. Next, coming to the oxygen. So the first line is very, very important. So the radio resistance of many biological systems actually increases by factor of 3 or twice or thrice. So the radio resistance increases with reduced oxygen. Okay, so when irradiation is conducted with reduced oxygen, then radio resistance of the biological systems will increase. That is very important. Okay, and the greater cell damage sustained in presence of oxygen, because high increased amounts of hydrogen peroxide and hydroxyperoxyl free radicals are formed. So this is important point related to oxygen. So we are done with dose, we are done with dose rate, and we are done with oxygen. Right. Now coming to the important aspects of the radiotherapy. So radiotherapy, the effects of radiotherapy is very, very important. So what we have discussed so far, deterministic and stochastic effect differences are important, and the effects on the DNA and on the cytoplasm and on the cell replication are important. Followed by that, the radiotherapy is important. Okay, so radiotherapy, the various effects are being shown because of the constant radiotherapy. Okay, so first one is the oral mucositis. So there is inflammation and the entire mucosa will be completely inflamed. So as you can see in the picture, so that is oral mucositis, which is occurred as a consequence of radiotherapy. So first one is the oral mucositis. Next is the loss of taste acuity. So the patients will be having the loss of taste. So that is the second effect which can be caused as a consequence of radiotherapy. Okay, so loss of taste acuity. Next, xerostomia, because it also affects the acina cells of the salivary glands, right? So xerostomia, dry mouth, is again a consequence of the radiotherapy. So all these comes under the side effects or the consequences of the radiotherapy to the oral cavity, right? Next, so how do you treat if there is a first of all, there is a dry mouth situation. So whenever there is a dry mouth, there is less saliva, so there is less buffering capacity, because of which the caries or the teeth are more prone to caries, which is nothing but called as a radiation caries. Okay, so just a second. Okay, so as you can see in this picture, it is radiation caries. So dry mouth will ultimately cause the radiation caries, where the cervical part of the teeth is mainly affected. Okay, so you, as the picture clearly shows that. So this is a classic picture of the radiation caries. Okay, so there is a treatment for that. So whenever the patient is on a long term radiotherapy, it's better to give a topical fluoride treatment. Okay, and also avoidance of the dietary sucrose in order to prevent the radiation caries, right? So these are the important aspects. So oral mucositis, loss of taste acuity, xerostomia, radiation caries. And next one is the bone, which causes the radiation osteonecrosis. So radio osteonecrosis, because of the hypocellular, hypoxic and a hypovascular environment, the 3H environment which occurs as a consequence of radiotherapy, it results in osteoradionecrosis, because there is a damage to the vasculature of the periosteum, and also there is damage to the osteoblast, and that is being replaced by the fibrous tissue and as well as the fatty marrow. So because of which it results in hypoxic, hypocellular and hypovascular tissue, which ultimately causes this osteoradionecrosis. Okay, just so this picture clearly shows this is osteoradionecrosis, which is being involving the mandible, and this occurs as a consequence of the radiotherapy, right? So next is the musculature. Even there is a decreased mouth opening because of the inflammation as well as the fibrosis of the muscles of mastication. So whenever there is fibrosis of muscles of mastication, obviously it causes trismus. So whenever there is trismus, the patient will have a difficulty in opening the mouth widely, right? So the commonmost muscles which are being involved are the masseter and the pterygoid muscle, which usually occurs about 2 months after the radiotherapy, right? And it will progress thereafter. This is important aspects related to the radiotherapy, right? So very important answer relate or questions related to this radiation biology is again radiotherapy as well. So important effects, from all the important effects you need to have good idea: the radiation caries, osteoradionecrosis, the loss of taste acuity, the oral mucositis, okay, and xerostomia. So all these are the very important side effects or the consequences that occurs because of a long term radiotherapy that is seen within the oral cavity. Okay, so just remember all these effects, right? Next, coming to the effects on the whole body. So this is acute radiation syndrome, right? So whenever there is a dose of 1 to 2, it shows the prodromal symptoms, 2 to 4 it shows mild hematopoietic symptoms, and 4 to 7 severe hematopoietic symptoms, 7 to 8 is the gastrointestinal symptoms, and if it is 50 grays, it causes cardiovascular and CNS symptoms. Okay, so very important is the acute radiation syndrome, and the dosage is also quite important. Okay, so just remember. So coming to the gastrointestinal effects, so it can cause necrosis and ulcerations, and also it can cause infection, and the patients will have septicemia and diarrhea. Okay, so these are the various gastrointestinal effects. And if the patient is pregnant and if she has been exposed to high amount of radiation, and definitely it shows the effects on the embryos and the fetus. Okay, so just have a look at this slide as well. So about the radiation of 10 milligray, the patient will have the embryo or the fetus, the death will occur because of either childhood leukemia or because of any other cancer. So just have a look of this as well. So and also cataract formation within the eye. This is also one of the important deterministic effect that is being shown. Okay, so we are done with the various deterministic effects, right? So it is completely dose dependent. So the amount, more the amount of dose, more the damage to the living tissues, right? Now next, coming to the stochastic effect, as I said, even a single photon can cause the effect. So example is the carcinogenesis. So the radiation can cause cancer, high, because it it has its effect, it shows its mutation. So it can cause single change, or single photon can cause a mutation in the DNA, because of which it can cause a cancer, right? So just have a look of this chart that I have posted here. So here, initiator, it induces a change in the cell which no longer undergoes a terminal differentiation. Promoter, it is stimulating the cells to multiply and finally convert the pre-malignant cells to malignant ones. So just remember this. Okay, so again, the susceptibility of different tissues to radiation induced cancer. So just have a look of these. So high susceptible are those with colon, stomach, lung and bone marrow. Okay, bone marrow, most commonly leukemia has been seen, that we know. Moderate is the esophagus and the breast, and the others will fall into low. Okay, so these are the susceptibility of different organs related to radiation induced cancer. It is again different with the relative radiosensitivity that we have posted before. So do make a note of these two different aspects. So this is susceptibility of radiation induced cancer, whereas the other chart that we have posted before is a relative radiosensitivity of various different tissues. Okay, these two are different, two different concepts. Okay, but just make a note of these two and have an idea, right? So that's a student. So it is a simple topic. So important areas are the deterministic and the stochastic effect differences and the various effects of radiotherapy in the oral cavity. Okay, so these two are the very important areas related to radiation biology. So questions will be asked in and around that areas. So have a good grip of these areas and make a good note of it. Clear? Thank you.